Hi, you attendant. So what you will need for this lesson, as you learned before and all the other lessons, pen and paper. So remember, you're taking notes from this lesson and you will be using these notes to then be cut out or to be stuck straight into your books on our return to class. Take any pictures and then send them to me via Show My Homework or to my email when you are done. And remember that lovely little symbol there in the corner to write down the information when you see it to put into your notes. And the good thing about these videos is that you can pause and you can write down at your leisure. So remember again, recapping, there are 3 macronutrients fundamentally known in food and nutrition. Can you name them? Pause the slide and then say or write down your answers before continuing. See if you were correct. So we're moving on from, well, we're still keeping within proteins, but now we're looking at alternative proteins. So we looked at meat proteins, plant proteins, and now we're looking at alternative proteins. So today's learning objectives, we'll look at the benefit of alternative proteins. We're going to be able to distinguish the difference between vegetarians and Lactoovo vegetarians and vegans. And we're going to understand the ethical and moral beliefs of vegetarians and vegans and how that works within food choices and so on that we've discussed in previous lessons. So remembering and recapping on the last lesson with sources of proteins in the diet, there are 3 main sources of protein in the diet, and they suit a range of lifestyle choices. And to make sure that essential amino acids are being introduced in everyone's diet. So remembering those proteins with the amino acids, how they're linked in protein molecules. Can you already name those 3 main sources of protein in the diet? I have just mentioned them. Pause, say them, see if you got them right. One of them then, if you got that right, animal protein, so high biological, that HPV, high biological value. And remembering that high biological value, those that got away with the homework, so that's your amino acids, so high in amino acids, contain all the essential amino acids we need, high biological value. And coming in meat, fish, eggs, cheese, and dairy products. And remembering with these amino acids containing all 20. So that 8 of these are essential amino acids that we can only obtain from these animal proteins. So these high biological values contain all those 8 essential amino acids, of which the low biological value proteins, these plant proteins, so they're low biological values. So they don't have all the 20 amino acids. They're missing 1 or more, hence they need to be complemented. They need to have a range of these different plant proteins in order to attain the essential amino acids that are missing within these particular plant proteins. So this is what we're looking at, alternative proteins. So alternative proteins, they contain all essential amino acids that the body needs. So with all essential amino acids, can you remember if that's high biological value or low biological value? And those that have guessed high biological value, you are correct. So these alternative proteins are high biological value. They contain all those amino acids, essential amino acids that we need. And they can be eaten by vegetarians and vegans now to help top up those essential amino acids. So they don't have to be just eating vegetables. They can eat alternative proteins in order to get all those essential amino acids needed for healthy bodily function. A little activity for you, should you want to research and to simplify what a high biological value and low biological value, and describe what protein complementation is. So I'd like you to pause this video, go away, research, list and simplify in your own words the difference between high biological value, low biological value, and protein complementation. Look back on the notes that you did for last lesson, see if anything comes up and see if anything refreshes your mind, and to help simplify it in your own words. So we're going to go through these different types of protein in terms of the alternative proteins. So one of them is soya. So soya, this is like a variety of beet-like products available in supermarkets. and they've been developed to resemble meat products, most of them. So soya beans, you can see them in the pictures below, those green beans, they are soya beans, and they're made into a variety of products like milk, soy sauce, and tofu. And soybeans, as we said in the previous slide, they are high biological value protein. This means they contain all the essential amino acids that are required from protein foods and for healthy bodily function. You also have textured vegetable proteins, so a TVP. So these textured vegetable proteins, they're also made from soybeans, and they're made into like a flour-like substance. They're made into like a dough, essentially. So they're mixed with flour, made into a dough, and then you can make them into a variety of shapes, as you can see in there. So strips, chunks, slices, granules. So it gives the products that are made from them a bit more variety, gives them a bit of different texture. The thing is, when they're made, they're quite bland, so they need extra ingredients to make them more interesting, and they take on flavors quite easily when mixed with strong flavors and so on. So for example, the granule ones would be mixed with like tomatoes and so on, make a nice bolognese. Strips have a nice stir fry. Chunks, I guess you would have some kind of stew type thing from that, and the same with the slices as well. And then tofu. So tofu is made from ground soybeans. So this resembles a soft cheese. When you open it from the packet, it's like this soft cheese. It doesn't look great from the off, but also absorbs flavors easily like the other alternative proteins. And I've got it ringed down there. You can see it at the bottom there. Looks like a chunk of cheese. That's your tofu. And then mycoprotein, so that's corn. So you can see in the bottom right hand corner, they're your corn products if you've not seen them before. And these have egg white added to it to bind it together. So a bit like the TVP, but they have egg white. And mycoprotein it's a type of mushroom. So it's like a mushroom product mixed with a bit of egg white, and then they can also make it look like meat products, and they got that kind of taste to them as well, like a kind of meaty taste, also adding a bit more flavor, textures and so on to vegetarian and vegan foods. So believe it or not, there are quite a few different, well, there's a few different types of vegetarian diets we're just going to look at. And the reason why some people are vegetarian is coming back to their food choices. It's their choice. It's their decision of what they believe is right and wrong, and what they've decided to eat. So, for example, vegetarians believe it's wrong to kill animals and to eat animal flesh. And so, whereas vegans, they will go that one step further, and they do not eat or wear anything that has come from an animal. So this greatly limits their choice of food. They're limited in terms of what they can actually eat. It says here as well, like other reasons why a person might become vegetarian is because of their religious beliefs. So you think when we were talking about religion and so on, so Buddhists, Sikhs, and any other type of religions really, like that don't eat pork and so on. It's a great way to be introducing a different type of textured food and a different way of eating. It's a food choice at the end of the day. So there are two main types of vegetarian. So you have lacto-ovo vegetarians and you have vegans. So remembering, you can pause this, make your notes, and moving on. So lacto-ovo vegetarians, this is where it gets a bit of this, a bit of that. So lacto-ovo vegetarians. Lacto-ovo vegetarians will not eat meat, fish, lard. Remember, that's pig fat, or gelatin. Also comes from pig, because they involve killing an animal. But they will eat products that come from that animal. So eggs, milk, cheese, butter, cream, and yogurt. And then you have lacto-ovo vegetarians. They can choose from a wide range of these products. So they have no problems obtaining these amino acids, so essential amino acids, getting from tofu and other alternative proteins as well. And to pinpoint now that vegans cannot eat corn, as we discussed earlier, it contains egg white, and egg white obviously is an animal product coming from eggs, which comes from chickens. From lacto-ovo vegetarians, then you break them down into two different ones again. So you go lacto-vegetarians. So lacto-vegetarians are similar to lacto-ovo vegetarians, except they will not eat eggs. And then you have ovo-vegetarians, will eat eggs, but not dairy foods like meat, poultry, or seafood. So you can see how it kind of goes in and out, but this is of their beliefs, and this is coming back again to food choices. So people's food choices, they believe in certain areas of vegetarian or veganism, and they will choose which ones they believe is right or morally wrong. So with vegans, so they're strict vegetarians, so they avoid eating all animal products and also wearing any animal products. So they'll go so far as not even eating honey, because it's made by bees. So therefore, vegans must ensure they have good nutritional balance in their diet, because they have a more restricted diet. So because of this, they have particular difficulties getting in supplies of protein. So where they're just eating vegetables and not animal products whatsoever, they've got to make sure that they're getting these essential amino acids. So how are they getting them? Also, because animal products are very high in vitamins A and D, they may become or will become deficient within vitamins A and D. And also the minerals calcium linked with vitamin D, phosphorus and iron found in dairy products, and vitamin B12, which is good for energy and so on. So these are quite big things that vegans need to be aware of when they're making this food choice, in that they need to be obtaining these proteins, vitamins, minerals and so on from somewhere else. Another little activity, so go research different foods that are suitable for vegans. So what foods are suitable for vegans? And it could be, well, it's definitely said in these times that veganism is massively on the rise. It's a huge market these days. So that's why I've added this question: what types of vegan foods are now being used in fast food restaurants? There's been a huge increase in vegan foods and the rise of veganism. So it shouldn't be too hard to find shouldn't be hard to find foods that are suitable for vegans in this day and age. So activity, research different foods for vegans and what kind of foods can be found, vegan foods can be found in restaurants and so on, fast food restaurants. Attached to the my homework is these two sheets, and I would like you to answer each one. Again, use full sentences, use your own wording to show your true understanding. I obviously don't mind you going away and researching and finding more information if you don't, if the question is asking for something that you've missed or you're not clearly sure about, but write in your own words. Writing in your own words shows that you understand it, and you are beginning to understand it more than just copying from a source on Google. So any questions with that, or any help that you need, you can message me via Show My Homework or via email, and I will get back to you and help you out. All right, good luck.